Hello there. Before we get started with this video, I'd like to announce that on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so roughly an hour and a half before the reveal of Halo Infinite, I will be streaming, going live. If you'd like to join me and watch Halo Infinite live, I'll be answering questions, speculating, theorizing, and reacting. If you'd care to join us, check the link in the description, or you can check the schedule and put that notification bell on and you'll know when I'm going live. I hope you come hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to make a video out of it too. It's definitely going to end up on YouTube, so if you end up being in the video, on the chat at some point, who knows? Could be cool. Hope you join us. On to the video. Hey guys, it's Jarasunder here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than my other videos typically are. I have been creating content about Halo on YouTube for a year now. We are just 1 week away as of recording this on Sunday the 6th from my 1 year anniversary of creating Halo content. And holy crap, has it been an amazing, amazing year. I want to start off by stating it will be a year on the day of the reveal. I know that this isn't exactly lining up with when the actual date is, but I figured I would get this put out there a little bit early, just so I can make sure that we have room for E3 and coverage, because I'm not exactly going to be talking about the year anniversary of the channel on the 13th. But I wanted to just take this opportunity to start where we began and talk about what kind of went into content creation and what drove my decision to even do it. To be completely truthful with you, the only reason why I even got into content creation with Halo was because I was thinking to myself, playing Halo 3 actually on MCC when it was in the test build, and thinking about how much I loved the physics in Halo 3, and I was really hoping to see that Halo returned to that. So it kind of piqued a curiosity. So I booted up the trailer. I started taking a peek at the Infinite trailer, and I started thinking, maybe there's something more going on here. Maybe there's evidence of some things going on here that they're trying to point towards. And while those videos being almost completely speculative and kind of baseless to an extent, I felt that they were really actually valuable in the sense that they added to the conversation of Halo, and it kind of brought up a topic of discussion that a lot of people hadn't really moved towards in any meaningful way. I think physics are critical to Halo, but I think the physicality of interacting with the environment and throwing a grenade and having it bounce off of a wall realistically, having a fusion coil explode and cause pallet chunks to go flying around and potentially splattering people, etc., etc. Just the way that the game has always had these dynamic physics and pushed them more and more over time. We kind of got away from that recently, but I just felt back in the day that was something that was important for me to talk about, and I wanted to see if Infinite had any sort of clues or anything like that regarding it. And I think that it does. I think that there is some ways you can interpret that initial, Slip Space Engine reveal trailer and see that maybe they are attempting to tease some sort of new level of physics. And I'm going to actually mention something I mentioned in my second physics video that I ever created that I want to let you guys know about. I actually found evidence that they have actually done extreme physics work for the engine of the game. The lead developer on the Havoc engine, the guy who was essentially in charge of it, right after Halo 5 finished development, he got put onto the 343 team, and he is building Halo Infinite. He was one of the lead guys over at Havoc who was helping develop the Havoc engine to be better and better and be capable of more and more and more. So sometime in 2015, Microsoft purchased the Havoc engine, and then shortly after, this guy moves into 343, and to me, that rings some bells in my head. If they're developing an engine, it would make sense if they wanted to have the best of the best guys who lead the field of physics engine rendering, and calculations and whatnot. It would make sense that they would want that guy on the team. So I decided to make a video on that topic as well. And then I also looked into the Discover Hope trailer and wanted to see if I could find anything there. And I think, I think that there's some stuff you can see there. I think that a lot of it really is kind of a stretch, but I think it's possible, looking at it all a year later, that there is something going on with the game with regards to its physics. And I will be doing a video on this multiplayer reveal or whatever the heck we end up getting at E3 here and discussing the physics of that trailer once we finally see what this game really, really looks like in action. That being said, I wanted to take some time while I have your attention. I wanted to do a little bit of a Q&A. I felt like that would be a little fun thing to do. I felt that we were overdue for a Q&A, as a matter of fact. And so we're going to go ahead and start right here with Alberto Guerra, who comments and says, "Hi, dude. Really like your videos. Awesome content. If there's no issue with it, would you allow me the opportunity to have a Halo talk with you?" And to that, I would say, if you're watching this video right now, I'm more than happy to take some time and talk to you about Halo if you're trying to make a video about it, or if you're just trying to have a discussion about it or something. Yeah, we could, hop into MCC and we could just talk about Halo for a little while. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Gunny Hartman says, "Should the Floodmaker return in Infinite, or would the story become too crowded?" I think the idea that a Halo story could ever become too crowded is nonsense when you consider how complicated the Halo 2 story was in the grand scheme of things. And I honestly think that the Halo 2 story is the greatest ever. How many factions are there in Halo 2? There's the Brutes, the Elites, the Humans, the Flood. There's so much going on, and they all have narrative strings that they're tugging in different directions, and yet it's still brilliant and compelling. And on top of all of those factions, you've got different people within those factions with different motivations and such and such. So yes, absolutely. I would love to see the Floodmaker return. I think that they're critical to giving a story stakes. I would love, love, love it if the story of Halo Infinite is something that catapults us into a new age of flood horror. And I think that's possibly what could end up happening, because there's a lot of rumblings within the deeper lore of the universe that indicate that all of the stuff that happened in Combat Evolved through 3 was a fluke, and that at some point in time there is supposed to actually be a test from the Flood created by the Precursors, who are essentially the Flood, that tests humanity and tests its ability to attain the mantle. And if you're not able to overcome the Flood, you are not worthy of the mantle. And again, what happened in Halo 1 through 3 was not that test. It was a fluke. It wasn't supposed to happen. Discover Hope says, "Do you think 343 should leave out the created/Forerunner/Promethean storyline like it seems like they're doing, i.e. plot points, enemy gameplay, etc.? No, actually, I don't think so. And I don't think they are. I think they're just avoiding it because it's one of the central plot points of the game. I think that the Banished are kind of a side faction, truth be told. I think they're going to be the primary kind of, sort of similar to how Halo 4 had the Storm Covenant. I think the Banished are kind of just going to be the guys that they throw at us as cannon fodder in the story to keep things moving and to keep a general conflict there. But I have a feeling that the Created is going to end up being the greater story that it's told. I wouldn't even be surprised if Escharum doesn't make it to the end of the game, if I'm being honest. David M. asks, "What is your opinion on the Halo 4 story? Were you a big lore nerd before and understood everything, or did it possibly get you into the extended lore?" I have always been pretty into Halo's lore. I wouldn't necessarily say Halo 4 specifically got me into the lore. It certainly helped, but around the time that 343 came in charge, one of the few things that I really, really think they don't get enough credit for is how much they have expanded the lore of the Halo franchise and really, really added to the universe. Post-Reach, and we're talking about Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, all the terminals and stuff that they put into that game, it really added to the universe so much, and really changed the game, I think, in terms of how people thought about the universe. So, I mean, yes, the answer is kind of yes and no. I was sort of on the cusp of becoming a big lore nerd and whatnot, and the more I played Halo 4 and kind of ingested 343's expanded universe and all that stuff, I became more and more of a lore nerd. I wouldn't say that I'm on the level of someone like Halo Canon or even Hidden Xperia or Halo Follower or anything like that. I'm not like that deep into it, but I have a cursory knowledge of it and have a rough idea of what directions the franchise could go in as a result of all of the expanded lore and whatnot. Pokey Pokester asks, "When is the second part of the Halo retrospective video trilogy? Why we like blank coming out?" I'm a little bit confused by this question because there are already actually 2 parts out right now. There's the Why Do People Like Halo campaigns, and then there's the Why Do People Like Halo multiplayer. So I'm thinking maybe you haven't seen one of the 2 of those. If that's the case, then, I'll link them in the description. They'll be right there for you to check out. So I hope you do take a look at those. I think they're amazing. Some of my best work, not to toot my own horn, but yeah, the third, if you're referring to maybe the third one, which the topic of that one is actually secret, it's classified. I'm not sure. That's going to be post E3 for sure. We might not get that one for a few weeks, if I'm being absolutely honest. I could say earliest would be maybe 2 to 3 weeks from now, minimum, that we get that next part. Danny GG asks, "When are we going to get married?" I don't know, man. COVID's kind of making it tough. I was thinking maybe, I don't know, next year. Sure, well, let's go with next year. Hollow asks, "What things would Halo Infinite have to do /include/exclude to make you like it less than Halo 5? Well, see, I don't have as much hatred and vitriol towards Halo 5 as the general Halo community does. I do think the campaign is pretty much awful, but I don't think the entire package is terrible. I think it's it's the best Forge, undisputedly, in the game's history, and I think that the multiplayer is some of the best in the game's history. And the only thing that held back Halo 5's multiplayer was the fact that they didn't have a dedicated big team battle mode, and the fact that they didn't. Most of the post game support was, you know, just armor permutations and things like that. It wasn't really anything in the way of levels. Everything was just kind of remixes, which felt kind of half-assed, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I wasn't a super big fan of that, but overall, I think that Halo 5 is more like an 8 out of 10 as opposed to the 6 out of 10 that I think a lot of people would give it. Still better to play than a lot of other games out there. Bound D asks, which armor permutation was your favorite to unlock in any Halo game? Did you have Recon before it was unlockable? I definitely didn't have Recon before it was unlockable. That was next to impossible. I think maybe a handful of people actually even managed to do that. But that's funny that you mention that, because it was definitely Recon. It was such a challenge to get it. It was so sought after. And even when they put the VidMaster challenges out, there were still so many people that did not actually have the armor unlocked, because it really was like these real serious difficult trials that they put you through. You got put through the ringer if you wanted to unlock that armor, and not a lot of people had it. I noticed back in the day that it was kind of clout to have that armor, and I got it pretty early on too. Rupee8 asks, is Obama your girlfriend? No, it's Danny GG. Danny is in fact my girlfriend, actually. Just clarifying that. We've got Custom Chief asking me, are you Big Chungus or God or both? Cringe is going to be my response. Cringe. That's not, I'm not saying I'm God or Chungus or anything. I'm saying I am cringe. I possess the powers of cringe. Styx asks, why do you smell bad? It's because I haven't showered in several years and am covered in a thick coating of dirt, fart air, and I assume probably, if I had to guess. I'm just, that's how it happens. I look like a strange, deranged homeless man. I wanted to also take a little bit of time to speculate about what I expect is going to happen at the E3 reveal. I expect, if I had to guess, that we're going to get a slice of multiplayer, more so than anything. And on top of that, I think we're going to get just a sizzler reel, maybe, of the campaign. And really, that's honestly about what I expect. I have a feeling we're going to see this big BTB 2.0 mode. It's too all over the place to not actually be a thing now. I don't expect we'll see anything regarding a battle royale. I do think that it's being worked on, but I don't think we're going to be seeing anything like that. Everything I've seen, all the insiders I've heard reporting on the game indicate that it's, going to kind of just... It's just going to be that big team battle reveal, that classic bread and butter experience. It's going to be kind of a blown up version of things that we've had in Halo in the past. So not much in the way of, anything crazy campaign, no big spoilers. I don't think we're going to see Cortana or anything like that. We might see a little bit of the July reveal kind of revised with better graphics now. But other than that, I think that's pretty much all we're going to get. Nothing really too crazy. I think that the multiplayer is going to look really good though. Okay, cool. So I think that's really about all I wanted to cover here. We didn't have too many questions. If you guys have any more questions, you can post them in the comments. I might do another Q&A video, or I might just jump into the comment section and respond to them myself. Who knows? But yeah, that being said, that's pretty much it. I'm excited for E3. I hope you guys are too. You guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. Before I go, I do want to go ahead and thank my Patreon supporters. I want to thank Kalen Christ at the $5 tier, at Canadian $7 actually. I want to thank Nuck and Futz at the $2 tier. I want to thank David Tees at the $10 tier. I want to thank Ghost Warrior at the $5 tier, and I want to thank Screamy at the $10 tier. Thank you so much, guys. And again, your support, it's insane. I can't believe you guys are so helpful and you're willing to contribute and support me like this. It really means a lot. It really does. And doing this for a whole year now, and how far we've come, we've got 1 million total views on the channel. I don't know if you knew that, but we crossed about a month ago, we crossed 1 million views on the channel. I never ever would have imagined that anything like that would ever happen. Oh, man. Alrighty, guys. Well, that being said, you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye, guys.